So I will, share with you Śrīla Prabhupāda's journey to America. Śrīla Prabhupada was given the instruction when he first met his spiritual master, Śrīla Bhakti-siddhanta Thakur. He was not initiated. He even met for the first time. Just imagine. You meet someone for the first time, unknown, never heard of, or never met, or never seen. And in the first meeting, in the first interaction itself, in the first opening up, what to say of meeting, in the first opening up, or in the first exchange itself, Śrīla Prabhupada gets the goal of his life. And with utmost confidence, Śrīla Bhakti-siddhanta Thakur gives this very, very vital and heavy instruction that you are an educated young man, and why don't you go and preach the message of Lord Chaitanya to the English-speaking world? And Prabhupada says that at that time he was married. He had 2 children. And he was completely taken aback. But since he received this instruction in 1922, till Śrīla Prabhupada departed from India on this voyage to America on 13th August 1965. Almost 33 years Śrīla Prabhupada prepared. Śrīla Prabhupada prepared. It was a lifetime of preparedness. And what is so very important, the preparedness, is his consciousness. So, what was the consciousness of Śrīla Prabhupada? What was his mood? What was his meditation? How much he was dependent on mercy of Guru and Krishna? That is very much exhibited in this voyage. So we have less time. So I will read from Prabhupāda-līlāmṛta. In the morning I gave class in Rohini temple, but I could not read much. I spoke on other aspects, but now I want to read with all of you. Śrīla Prabhupada's journey to America. Jayo Jayo Shri Chaitanya, Jayo Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jayo Jayo Shri Chaitanya, Jayo Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. This is September 10, 1965. Prabhupada is writing on his Jaladut diary. Today the ship is flying very smoothly. I feel today better, but I am feeling separation from Sri Vrindavan and my lords Sri Govinda, Gopinath, Radha Damodar. For 4 days we were not in our place of worship. We were in Haridwar. But did we feel this separation from our worshipable lordships, our deities? Yeah, we should. If we are actually serving, we should feel the separation. My only solace is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in which I am tasting the nectarine of Lord Chaitanya's Leela. I have left Vrindavan Bharat Bhumi just to execute the order of Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati in pursuance of Lord Chaitanya's order. So the order of Lord Chaitanya is coming through the spiritual master. And Prabhupada is expressing here that there is no other reason why Prabhupada has left Bharat Bhumi. And see his humility. I have no qualification, but have taken up the risk just to carry out the order of his divine grace. I depend fully on their mercy, so far away from Vrindavan. So this is Journey to America. So this is one of the section which has been highlighted. We'll try to read this full chapter today. The Jaladut is the regular cargo carrier of the Scindia Steam Navigation Company, but there is the passenger cabin aboard. During the voyage from Calcutta to New York in August and September 1965, The cabin was occupied by Sri Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami, whose age was listed as 69 and who was taken aboard bearing a complimentary ticket with food. So we all know Prabhupada was given this complimentary ticket by the owner of this Sindhya Steam Navigation Company, Srimati Sumati Morarji, and how much Prabhupada had to persuade her to get this ticket. And this was the best cabin actually on the ship. In one conversation, Śrīla Prabhupada was speaking to his disciples later. I read it. So Prabhupada said that was the owner's cabin which was provided to him. That was the best cabin on that boat. The Jalduta under the command of Captain Arun Pandya, whose wife was also aboard, left at 9 a.m. on Friday, August 13, from Calcutta. In his diary, Śrīla Prabhupada noted, the cabin is quite comfortable. Thanks to Lord Shri Krishna for enlightening Sumati Morarji. For all these arrangements, I am quite comfortable. But on the 14th, he reported seasickness, dizziness, vomiting, Bay of Bengal, heavy rains, more sickness. Just within 24 hours. On the 19th, when the ship arrived at Colombo, Ceylon, now Sri Lanka, Prabhupada was able to get relief from his seasickness. The captain took him ashore and he traveled around Colombo by car. Then the ship went towards Cochin on the west coast of India. Janmashtami, the appearance day of Lord Krishna, fell on the 20th of August that year. Prabhupada took the opportunity to speak to the crew about the philosophy of Lord Krishna, and he distributed prasadam he had cooked himself. So Prabhupada was cooking on the Jaladuta himself. August 21st was his 70th birthday, observed without ceremony at sea. There was no one to even greet him, wish him. The same day, the ship arrived at Cochin, and Śrīla Prabhupada trunks of Srimad Bhāgavatam volumes, which had been shipped from Bombay, were loaded on board. Anyone remembers how many sets? How many sets were loaded from Cochin? Prabhupada had published 3 volumes of the first canto. Yes? Rashil bro?
200.
You heard the class in the morning?
Somewhere I heard.
That is why it is fresh. Yeah, in the morning I spoke about it. So 200 sets were, and Prabhupada felt so relieved because that was his mission. Once Prabhupada was asked by a reporter before he left that Swamiji, you are going to America. Prabhupada said, no. Srimad Bhagavatam is going to America. And I am the servant of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that was Prabhupada's mission. So Prabhupada composed the poem Markine Bhāgavata-dharma. So the Bhagavata, as we all know, 2. One is the book Bhagavat and the other is the person Bhagavat. So both, in person is Śrīla Prabhupada and his books, both reached America. And it created a revolution. By the 23rd, the ship had put out on the Red Sea, where Śrīla Prabhupada encountered great difficulty. He noted in his diary rain, seasickness, dizziness, headache, no appetite, vomiting. The symptoms persisted, but it was more than seasickness. The pain in his chest made him think he would die at any moment. In 2 days, he suffered 2 heart attacks. He tolerated the difficulty, meditating on the purpose of his mission. But after 2 days of such violent attacks, he thought that if another were to come, he would certainly not survive. On the night of the 2nd day, Prabhupada had a dream. Lord Krishna, in his many forms, was rowing a boat. And he told Prabhupada that he should not fear, but should come along. Prabhupada felt assured of Lord Krishna's protection, and the violent attacks did not recur. So as Krishna navigated personally the chariot of Arjuna through all the dangers and through all the obstacles and all the difficulties, similarly, the Supreme Lord, the same Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, he navigated Prabhupada's boat amidst all the turbulence and all the difficulties to ensure that Prabhupada reached safely. The Jaldut entered the Suez Canal on September 1. You know Suez Canal, from where it connects towards Europe. And I stopped in Port Said on the 2nd. This Port Said is in Egypt. It's a very popular port. It's the transshipment port. I remember when we were doing shipment towards Mediterranean, I used to do a lot of shipment to Russia and Ukraine. So all my shipment was routed through Port Said. And that was a transshipment point. So this was the point where Śrīla Prabhupāda's Jaladut also docked. And from here, there was a change. And of course, the change was of Krishna's personally appearing and assuring the Supreme Lord. Śrīla Prabhupada visited the city with the captain and said that he liked it. So this happened previously also, where in Colombo. When Jaldut went to Colombo, Dr. Arun Pandya took him for a ride to see the city. Similarly, here when it reached Port Said, so they took a ride in the city. By the 6th, he had recovered a little. 6 means 6th of September. A little from his illness and was eating regularly again for the first time in 2 weeks, having cooked his own khichdi and puris. So Prabhupada cooked. Prabhupada was cooking not only for himself, but also for Captain Pandya and his wife also at times. He reported in his diary that his strength renewed little by little. Thursday, September 9. To 4 this afternoon, we have crossed over the Atlantic Ocean for 24 hours. The whole day was clear and almost smooth. I am taking my food regularly and have gone some strength to struggle. Prabhupada knew what is coming is very, very stiff struggle. Prabhupada is saying that I am gaining some strength to struggle. There is also a slight tacking of the ship, and I am feeling a slight headache also. But I am struggling, and the nectarine of life in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the source of all my vitality. Friday, September 10. Today the ship is flying very smoothly. This we read. I feel better today, but I am feeling separation from Sri Vrindavan and my Lord Sri Govinda, Gopinath, Radha Damodar. My only solace is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in which I am tasting the nectarine of Lord Chaitanya's life pastimes. I have left Bharat Bhumi just to execute the order of Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati in pursuance of Lord Chaitanya's order. I have no qualification, but have taken up the risk just to carry out the order of His divine grace. I fully depend on their mercy so far away from Vrindavan. During the voyage, Śrīla Prabhupāda sometimes stood on the deck at the ship's rail, watching the ocean and the sky and thinking of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Vrindavan Dham, and the order of the spiritual master to go and preach in the West. Mrs. Pandya, the captain's wife, whom Śrīla Prabhupāda considered to be an intelligent and learned lady. Prabhupada called some of the personalities, Matajis, to be very intelligent. One is Mrs. Pandya. Who are the others? You remember? Prabhupada writes in his purports. Who is the other personality? Although Srimad Bhagavatam says, and Bhagavad Gita says, Triyo Vaishyo Tata Shudro Tepi Yanti Paramgati. Mami Partha Vipashritya Ye Apisyo Papyoniya. What are the Papyonis? Triyo Vaishyo Tata Shudro Tepi Yanti Paramgati. But not everyone. Mrs. Pandya Prabhupada is saying is, yes, Ramya?
Prabhupada considered Kunti Maharani to be one.
Yes, perfect answer. Kunti Devi. Kunti Devi Prabhupada writes that she is one of the most intelligent ladies. She took exclusive shelter. She knew where to take shelter. She never depended on her mighty sons. She always took exclusive shelter. And she, in her prayer, says, Sneh Pasham Imam Chindi. That please sever my knot of affection for Vishnishu and Pandushu, towards my sons and towards my family members, so that my heart can flow exclusively towards your lotus feet as the Ganges flows towards the ocean. So this lady, she had very special qualification, Mrs. Pandya. She was like, one who could read the fortune. So she commented and she assured Śrīla Prabhupada. She foretold Śrīla Prabhupada's future. If he were to pass beyond this crisis in this hell, she said, it would indicate the goodwill of Lord Krishna. So she gave Śrīla Prabhupada a lot of strength and hope by her intelligent talk. The ocean voyage of 1965 was a calm one for the Jaladuta. The captain said that never in his entire career had he seen such a calm Atlantic crossing. Because Atlantic is very, very huge reservoir, one of the biggest ocean. And it is one of the roughest ocean. It has very rough weather and very turbulent waves. But when Prabhupada was on board, so the captain said that in his entire career, he would have crossed the Atlantic many, many times, both ways, coming and returning. But he had never experienced such a calm Atlantic crossing. Prabhupada replied that the calmness was Lord Krishna's mercy. And Mrs. Pandya asked Prabhupada to come back with them so that they might have another such crossing. Śrīla Prabhupada wrote in his diary, if the Atlantic would have shown its usual face, perhaps I would have died. But Lord Krishna has taken charge of the ship. On September 13, Prabhupada noted in his diary, 32nd day of journey, cooked bati khichdi. Previously also Prabhupada was, you see Prabhupada's austerity. Prabhupada was preparing what? Khichdi. It appeared to be delicious. So I was able to take some food. Today I have disclosed my mind to my companion Lord Shri Krishna. There is a Bengali poem made by me in this connection. So Prabhupada, when he is reaching his destination, so Prabhupada is opening his heart, he is conveying to Lord Krishna. He is very much begging Krishna to fulfill his mission. Whose mission? Prabhupada's mission. Was it actually Prabhupada's mission? No. It is the mission of his spiritual master. And is it the mission of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? No. It is the mission of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And is the mission of Bhakti Vinod Thakur his personal mission? The mission is of Lord Chaitanya himself. So it is coming down in Parampara. So just, appreciate how to fulfill the mission of the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada has taken all risks. And at what age? At the age of 70. And when he knows that this mission is a mission impossible. But he also knows to make the impossible become possible, it is only Krishna's mercy which can make it happen. So to invoke the mercy, Śrīla Prabhupāda opens his heart. And I remember one of the sannyasis, Maharaj, he was speaking his realization. He said it is these poems, these two poems which Prabhupada composed when he was reaching the shores of America. By his crying, there was another crying which made Lord Chaitanya appear. That was by Sri Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya was crying and falling. And Mahavishnu had to woke up. He had to give up his yoga nidra and he appeared. In Chaitanya Bhāgavata, there is a very beautiful description about it. Similarly, when Prabhupada was about to reach the shores of America, Prabhupada started to call and cry to Krishna. And both those calling and crying, the internal mood of Prabhupada is expressed in his two poems. The first one, which he composes on September 13th, which Śrīla Prabhupāda is mentioning. And in this, he is expressing his heart to his companion. Whose companion? Prabhupada's companion, Krishna. Very beautiful. I will not discuss that today. Some other time we will discuss. So far we have not discussed either of the poems. But in the morning I recited for the first time the second poem of Śrīla Prabhupada. But next time when we meet, maybe on Ekadashi or some other day, we will recite these poems. Very, very beautiful poems. Krishna tabe punya hobe bhai. E punya karibare jabe Radha Rani khushi hobe. Dhruva ati bolo toma thai. So Prabhupada composed this song. We will just see some of the sections of this song. This poem was a prayer to Lord Krishna, and it is filled with Prabhupada's devotional confidence in the mission that he had undertaken on behalf of his spiritual master. An English translation of the opening stanza as follows. I emphatically say to you, O brothers, you will obtain your good fortune from the Supreme Lord Krishna only when Srimati Radharani becomes pleased with you. Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is very dear to Lord Gauranga, the son of Mother Sachi, is unparalleled in his service to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. He is that great saintly spiritual master who bestows intense devotion to Krishna at different places throughout the world. So with this confidence, with this innermost trust and belief, Śrīla Prabhupada is carrying the mission of his spiritual master. He is that great saintly spiritual master who bestows intense devotion to Krishna at different places throughout the world. And how it is happening? It is happening through the instrument of his divine grace, Śrīla Prabhupada. By his strong desire, the holy name of Lord Gauranga will spread throughout all the countries of the Western world. In all the cities, towns, and villages on the earth, from the oceans, seas, rivers, and streams, everyone will chant the holy name of Krishna. So this deep trust which Śrīla Prabhupada had in his spiritual master, and the confidence which he had in the orders and directions of Bhakti Saraswati Thakur, that made it become possible, which was impossible. Because no one else had this belief. Śrīla Bhakti Saraswati Thakur had already sent his disciples when he was here on this planet Earth, but they all returned back unsuccessful. But in case of Śrīla Prabhupada, it became a success. Why? Because of such depth of Prabhupada's trust in his spiritual master. As the vast mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conquers all direction, a flood of transcendental ecstasy will certainly cover the land. When all the sinful, miserable living entities become happy, the Vaishnava's desire is then fulfilled. So this is Prabhupada's compassion. Prabhupada wanted that each and every one in this material world be delivered. That is why when all these sinful, miserable living entities become happy, the Vaishnava desire is then fulfilled. Although Prabhupada is quoting Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that was his desire. But along with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's desire is the desire. That is the oneness of the desire of Śrīla Prabhupada. He has no other desire. That is Anya Vilashita Shunya. Although my Guru Maharaj ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am not worthy or fit to do it. I am very fallen and insignificant. Therefore, O Lord, now I am begging for your mercy, so that I may become worthy. For you are the wisest and the most experienced of all. The poem ends. So in this way, Prabhupada is really crying, calling out to Krishna to empower him, to enable him to be able to execute the mission of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Today, that remembrance of you came to me in a very nice way, because I have great longing. I call to you. Now, this is an intimate exchange between a pure devotee and the Supreme Lord. I am your eternal servant, and therefore I desire your association so much. O Lord Krishna, except for you, there is no means of success. In the same straightforwardness, forward, factual manner in which he had noted the date, the weather and his state of health, he now described his helpless dependence on his compassion, Lord Krishna, and his absorption in the ecstasy of separation from Krishna. He described the relationship between the spiritual master and his disciple, and he praised his own spiritual master, Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, by whose strong desire the holy name of Lord Gauranga will spread throughout the countries of the Western world. He plainly stated that his spiritual masters has ordered him to accomplish this mission of the worldwide Krishna consciousness. And feeling unworthy, he prayed to Lord Krishna for strength. The last verse gives an unexpected, confident glimpse into Śrīla Prabhupada's direct relationship with Lord Krishna. Prabhupada called on Krishna as his dear friend and longed for the joy of again wandering in the fields of Braja. This memory of Krishna, he wrote, came because of the great desire to serve the Lord. Externally, Śrīla Prabhupada was experiencing great inconvenience. He had been aboard ship for a month and had suffered heart attacks and repeated seasickness. Moreover, even if he were to recover from those difficulties, his arrival in America would undoubtedly bring many more difficulties. But remembering the desire of his spiritual master, taking strength from the reading of Chaitanya Charitamrita and revealing his mind in his prayer to Lord Krishna, Prabhupada remained confident. After the 35 days journey from Calcutta, the Jaldut reached Boston's Commonwealth Pier at 5:30 a.m. on September 17, 1965. So this is the historic date. This is the date which is the defining moment in the history of Gaudiya Vaishnava. At morning time, 5:30, almost Brahma Muhurat, that Śrīla Prabhupada reaches America. That is the awakening of the entire universe on September 17, 1965. So this is the day we commemorate the World Holy Name Week. From September 17, this year also it was from September 17 till September 23. Normally it coincides with Prabhupada's arriving in America, and then we have the appearance of Śrīla Bhakti Vinod Thakur and also the disappearance of Śrīla Haridas Thakur. So all these utsavs, they come together. But the most important date is the date when Śrīla Prabhupada landed and touched the land of America on 17 September 1965. And this is how the mission of Lord Chaitanya, it passed on from the shores of India, Bharat Bhumi, and went to the whole world. prithvi te ate yato nagar adi gram sarvatra prachar hoibe molaka. That mission of Lord Chaitanya was carried in the heart of Śrīla Prabhupada. And that heart of Śrīla Prabhupada experienced 2 strokes, attacks, severe attacks. So now Prabhupada has reached Boston. But Prabhupada was destined to go to New York. So Boston was the en route. The ship was to stop briefly in Boston before proceeding to New York City. Among the first things Śrīla Prabhupada saw in America were the letters A and P painted on the pier front warehouse. The grey waterfront dawn revealed the ships in the harbor, a conglomeration of lobster strands and drab buildings, and the rising in the distance the Boston skyline. Prabhupada saw the Boston skyline, the tall, big buildings. Prabhupada had to pass through US immigration and customs in Boston. His visa allowed him 3 months stay, and an official stamped it to indicate his expected date of departure. So if you travel, so you have to take visa in whatever country you intend to travel. So the visa has a validity of how many days. Normally it is in days. And the date of entry is marked there. So they will stamp on the passport the date of entry. And on the validity of the visa, you have to return within the validity of the visa. You cannot overstay there. So Prabhupada had 3-month visa. And how Prabhupada got this 3-month visa? Because there was someone known to Prabhupada in Agra, Mr. Agarwal. When Prabhupada took sannyas, so after taking sannyas, his sannyas guru ordered him to go and preach. And he went to Agra because from Mathura, Agra was the nearest and the biggest city. Of course, Prabhupada was coming and preaching in Delhi also for many, many years. But he also went to Agra to preach. And where he was staying, that person, that Mr. Agarwal, he had a son who had gone to America for studying electrical engineering. And when he came to America, he got entangled with an American lady and he got married and settled here. So that Mr. Agarwal was complaining to Śrīla Prabhupada, look, see, I have lost my son. But as soon as Prabhupada came to know that Mr. Agarwal's son is in US, Prabhupada immediately requested him, why don't you ask your son to give me an invitation so that I can go travel to America and preach and fulfill the orders of my spiritual master. Prabhupada had mentioned this to many, whomever he was meeting, he came to know. But Prabhupada says elsewhere that the invitation came very quickly, much quickly than he had anticipated. And then Prabhupada became determined to travel. So this 1 month, what I was trying to say, this 1 month sponsorship was given by Gopal. Gopal had sponsored Śrīla Prabhupada for 1 month. And the visa allowed him 3 months. So Prabhupada requested the immigration officer to stamp his stay for 2 months. Prabhupada thought that for 1 month I will stay with my host, that is Gopal. And for 1 month, Prabhupada took the risk. Without having any resource, without having any money, without having known anyone else in America, without having any shelter or any invitation from anyone apart from the first one, Prabhupada took the risk. The day 1, he depended on Krishna. That 1 month, Krishna has given me invitation in the terms of sponsorship. 1 month, I will struggle and try to remain here. So the date of return was mentioned after 2 months. It is not mentioned here. And an official stamped it to indicate, the visa allowed him 3 months stay, and an official stamped it to indicate his expected date of departure. Captain Pandya invited Prabhupada to take a walk into Boston, where the captain intended to do some shopping. They walked across the footbridge into a busy commercial area with old churches, warehouse, office, building, bars, tawdry, bookshops, nightclubs. What happened? One second. So Prabhupada, for the first time, he entered the American territory and he got a first-hand feel, a strong feel of what the American life is, what the American people is, and what the country is. In just few moments, he observed, Prabhupada briefly observed the city. But the most significant thing about his short stay in Boston, aside from the fact that he had now set foot in America, was that at Commonwealth Fire, he wrote another Bengali poem entitled Markine Bhāgavata-dharma. So after having this first-hand feel and experience of what the American people are and how difficult his mission is. So Prabhupada, at that day, he composed another composition, which is Markine Bhāgavata-dharma. Some of the verses he wrote on the board, his ship, that day are as follows. We will study this poem sometime. Maybe tomorrow itself. Why late? We will discuss it tomorrow. I want to read this. I want to set the platform to understand what was Śrīla Prabhupāda's internal disposition and mood, and how difficult it was his mission, and how much Prabhupada was completely dependent on the mercy of Śrīla Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Krishna, and how with humility and meekness Prabhupada was calling both to Krishna and to his Guru Maharaj to help. He was now in America. He was in a major American city, which was rich with billions, populated with millions, and determined to stay the way it was. Prabhupada saw Boston from the viewpoint of a pure devotee of Krishna. What people will see? When Gandhiji reached London for the first time, he was asked, how do you like London? And Gandhiji started to praise and glorify London. And he had a desire that we will also create India in the same way like London is. And when Prabhupada reached, now Prabhupada has reached Boston. You see what Prabhupada's internal disposition, what Prabhupada is saying. After seeing the city, what is his conclusion? He saw the hellish city life. He did not see the flamboyancy or the opulence or the external glitter that everyone is enamored by. Prabhupada could see that they are leading a hellish life. That is why Prabhupada, when he went to London, he naturally spoke and he said, London is hell. Why is it so? When we will study the poem, we will come to know. And what was Prabhupada's desire? That those who are all sinful, those who are destined to go to hell, they may be reclaimed and redeemed. That is what Prabhupada said, then the Vaishnava's desire will be fulfilled. People dedicated to the illusion of material happiness All his dedication and training moved him to give these people the transcendental knowledge and saving grace of Krishna consciousness. Yet he was feeling weak, lowly, and unable to help them on his own. He was but an insignificant beggar with no money. He had barely survived 2 heart attacks at sea. He spoke a different language. He dressed strangely. Yet he had come to tell people to give up meat eating, illicit sex, intoxication, and gambling, and to teach them to worship Lord Krishna, who to them was a mystical Hindu god. What would he be able to accomplish? Question mark. Helplessly, he spoke his heart directly to God. I wish that you may deliver them. I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them. And for convincing them, he would trust in the power of God's holy name and in the Srimad Bhagavatam. This transcendental sound would clean away desires for material enjoyment from their hearts and awaken loving service to Krishna. On the streets of Boston, Prabhupada was aware of the power of ignorance and passion that dominated the city, but he had faith in the transcendental process. He was tiny, but God was infinite, and God was Krishna, his dear friend. On the 19th of September, the Jaladuta sailed into New York Harbor. So just see, when did Prabhupada reach Boston? When did Prabhupada reach Boston?
17th. 17th, Prabhuji. 17th September.
5:30 in the morning on 17th. And on 19th. So full 17th and full 18th. Within this 2 days, Prabhupada could encompass, Prabhupada could visualize what he was against. He was against the might of the illusionary energy of Maya in the form of the lower modes, which was prevailing so heavy in this land of America. And Prabhupada, he really pleaded to Krishna and speaking, I cannot even speak to what Prabhupada has done. And by his calling and crying, at that moment, Śrīla Prabhupāda was empowered to do the impossible. And when Prabhupada even reached America, when he reached New York, the ship reaches there. Okay, I'll do another 5 minutes of reading and then I'll conclude. On the 19th of September, the Jaladuta sailed into New York Harbor and docked at Brooklyn Pier at 17th Street. Śrīla Prabhupada saw the awesome Manhattan skyline, the Empire State Building. Anyone who goes to New York, he sees that Statue of Liberty. And like millions of visitors and immigrations in the past, the Statue of Liberty, here it comes. Śrīla Prabhupada was dressed appropriately for a resident of Vrindavan. He wore kanthimala and a simple cotton dhoti, and he carried japamala and an old chadar. His complexion was golden, his head shaven, shikha in the back, his forehead decorated with whitish Vaishnav tilak. He wore pointed white rubber slippers, not uncommon for sadhus in India. But who in New York had ever seen or dreamed of anyone appearing like this Vaishnava? He was possibly the first Vaishnava sannyasi to arrive in New York with uncompromised appearance. Of course, New Yorkers have an expertise in not giving much attention to any kind of strange new habit. Śrīla Prabhupada was on his own. He had a sponsor, Mr. Agarwal, somewhere in Pennsylvania. Surely someone would be there to greet him, although he had little idea of what to do as he walked off the ship onto the pier. I do not know whether to turn left or right. He passed through the dockside formalities and was met by a representative from the traveler's aid sent by Agarwal in Pennsylvania, who offered him to take to the Scindia ticket office in Manhattan to book his return passage to India. At the Scindia office, Prabhupada spoke with the ticket agent Joseph Poitsters, who was impressed by his unusual passenger's Vaishnava appearance, his light luggage, and his apparent poverty. He regarded Prabhupada as a priest. Most of Scindia's passengers were businessmen or families. So Mr. Poitsters had never seen a passenger wearing the traditional Vaishnava dress of India. He found Śrīla Prabhupada to be a pleasant gentleman who spoke of the nice accommodations and treatment he has received aboard the Jalaguru. Prabhupada asked Mr. Poitsters to hold space for him on his return ship to India. His plans were to leave in about 2 months. As I said, Prabhupada had got his visa stamped for the return date after 2 months. And he told Mr. Poitsters that he would keep in touch, carrying only 40 rupees cash, which he himself called a few hours spending in New York, and an additional $20 he had collected from selling 3 volumes of the Bhāgavatam to Captain Pandya. Śrīla Prabhupada, with umbrella and suitcase in hand, and still escorted by the traveler's aid representative, set out for the Port Authority bus terminal to arrange for his trip to Butler. So Prabhupada reached the New York City at 10. His immigration was already done in Boston. He did not have to go through these formalities. It was already done. But then Prabhupada went and got his return ticket confirmed, the date. And then Prabhupada went to the bus terminal because Prabhupada had to go from New York to Butler, Pennsylvania. And that is more than 400 miles distance. And Prabhupada's bus, he boarded the bus at 5 p.m. From 10 till 5 in how many hours? 7 hours. And at 5 p.m. he boarded the bus and it reached at 3 a.m. in the night. And I was reading, I first heard from Devi Shakti Mataji. She is a very surrendered disciple of Śrīla Prabhupada from Vrindavan. Mataji spoke once that Prabhupada did not have anything to eat. He had only mudi, which he carried from Calcutta. From 10 in the morning till 3, he reached Butler. He survived on mudi. Such uncertainty, everything unknown, such risk Śrīla Prabhupada took to fulfill the mission of his spiritual master. And what is the poem? Tomorrow I was thinking to start Srimad Bhagavatam Janmadiya Syata, but it is not coming. Every time we have some reason or the other to defer, but tomorrow I will discuss that poem that Śrīla Prabhupada composed after having the first-hand feel of what the American life is. And Prabhupada got a in-depth idea of how difficult his mission is and how he prepared himself. That is very beautifully exhibited in Śrīla Prabhupada's poem. So I'll stop here. So today is that glorious day, that historic day, that turning point in the history of Gaudiya Vaishnava, that Śrīla Prabhupada reached America. This is the day when all the acharyas were waiting for. When Śrīla Prabhupada used to be in Vrindavan, he used to weep at the samadhi of Śrīla Rupa Goswami, that how can he fulfill the mission of his spiritual master. And Śrīla Rupa Goswami said that you will always find me by your side. This is the day for which Śrīla Bhakti Vinod Thakur was calling. This is the day for which Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was attempting in so many ways. This is the day for which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu invented that the holy names, the Yuga-dharma will be spread in every town and city of the world. And this empowerment, this mission was carried and accomplished by Śrīla Prabhupada. Thank you very much. But we should, in our heart, have at least some genuine feeling. So what Śrīla Prabhupāda has taken this risk to given us this gift of Krishna consciousness, and what we are doing to repay that debt. Or are we feeling that we owe that debt? To give us this gift of Krishna consciousness, what difficulty and tribulation Śrīla Prabhupāda accepted. I'll stop here. It is past 9. If any one of you want to say something, you can speak. Preach. If we don't preach, then we are not in ISKCON. We are not the follower of Śrīla Prabhupada. We are busy in our own eating, sleeping. We have no compassion, neither for our own self, or what about the other suffering souls. We are still thinking that we can enjoy in this material world. This material world is made for my enjoyment. I don't see any response, so I'll stop here. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Śrīla Prabhupāda's arrival in USA, Maha Mahotsav ki jai. Śrīla Prabhupāda-līlāmṛta ki jai. Nidāi gaur Prema. Tomorrow we will discuss the poem. Marki ne Bhāgavata-dharma. Śrīla Prabhupāda's poem. Hare